The video you're about to see will assist communities in training their community control group members and support staff on their roles during an emergency situation. This video has been developed by Emergency Management Ontario and is based on the standards contained in the Emergency Management Act. The fundamental principles contained in this video apply to all communities in Ontario, regardless of their size or resource level. Training is essential. When an emergency strikes, it is important that members of the community control group and support staff know their roles. Training in advance of any actual emergency will enable you to better respond to that situation, carry out your assigned tasks, and take steps necessary to protect the health, safety, lives, and property of your citizens. During this video, we'll see the establishment of a Community Emergency Operations Center and the management of an emergency by the Community Control Group and support staff. Looking at members' individual and collective responsibilities, we will follow this group through the setting up of the EOC itself and several operation cycles.
Dispatch, this is command. Need to activate mutual aid. I need further hazmat response teams, and I recommend that you have the chief activate the emergency response plan.
CO's office. I'll put you through to Mr. Reed right away.
Randy Reed.
Randy, it's Chief Madison. We've had a serious explosion at Trillium Chemical. There's been a release to the environment, and we've had casualties. I've activated mutual aid, and I've also activated the emergency response plan.
Okay, well, thanks, Chief. The plan has been activated. I'm going to make my way to the EOC now. I'll expect a full briefing as soon as I get there from you. In the meantime, I'll have the administrative staff make sure that the EOC is operational by the time we get there.
See you in 20 minutes.
At the direction of the fire chief, the fire dispatcher calls the police dispatch center to initiate the notification system. The police dispatcher opens the notification annex of the Trillium Emergency Response Plan and immediately begins to call all of the primary contacts for each agency represented on the Community Control Group, or CCG.
Hello, this is the Trillium Police Services Dispatch Center with an emergency message. May I speak to the Mayor, please?
Mayor Harrison.
Your Worship, the Fire Chief has activated the Emergency Response Plan. You are requested to immediately report to the Emergency Operations Center in the Town Hall.
I'm in Town Hall right now. I'll be there in 5 minutes. What's going on?
Sir, all I can communicate at this time is there has been an incident at Trillium Chemical.
Right, I'm on my way.
Having notified the mayor, the dispatcher calls the other people on the notification list. If any of the primary contacts are unavailable, the dispatcher calls the alternate contact listed in the plan. This is done until every department has been notified to assemble. During the process, the dispatcher records all of the calls made, the time at which they were placed, and the outcome of the communication. Each of the individuals contacted then activates their own internal notification procedures. As the notification procedures are being made, the Community Emergency Management Coordinator, or CEMC, begins to transform the multi-purpose room of the Town Hall into the Emergency Operations Center. This facility was chosen as an EOC for a number of reasons, including its location, accessibility, layout, and the availability of backup power. As part of the town's preparedness activities, a detailed plan for the setup of the EOC was created. Position kits have been filled with supplies for each of the control group positions. These containers include a copy of the emergency response plan, an EOC floor plan, stationery, markers, name tags, a town map, individual log sheets, checklists, and a telecommunications directory. Phones, computers, printers, and 2 fax machines are brought in from a separate storage locker, as well as from other offices within the town hall. The staff setup also includes the hanging of maps, placing of whiteboards, and the setup of a computer projector for the key events board. Even before the notifications are complete, personnel begin to assemble at the EOC. Those reporting represent 2 main groups, the Community Control Group and the Support Group. Each of these groups have specific responsibilities related to managing the emergency. The Community Control Group consists of senior departmental representatives who provide advice to the head of council while coordinating the overall response activities of their respective departments. In this model, the support group is subdivided into two teams, technical and administrative. The administrative team includes financial, document control, and event logging, along with telecommunications, information technology, food service, security, and building maintenance. The technical team is usually made up of individuals or groups with specialized knowledge or resources. Membership varies depending on the nature of the emergency. They may include representatives of legal services, industry, and other government or non-governmental organizations. In addition, council may gather in a room separate from the EOC. It is the responsibility of the mayor to keep members of council informed of the situation as it evolves. Once the Community Control Group has assembled at the EOC, an initial briefing takes place. In Trillium, the CAO is assigned the role of operations officer and is the chair of the control group. He or she manages the operations center and is assisted by the Community Emergency Management Coordinator, or CEMC. The CEMC, in addition to establishing the EOC, provides the control group with advice and clarifications about the implementation details of the emergency response plan. She also liaises with the support group and outside agencies. The rest of the control group members include the senior leaders from the police service, fire department, emergency medical services, public works, social services, and public health. Collectively, they're responsible for implementing their department's emergency response plan, providing the control group with advice and operational updates specific to their department's services, providing overall strategic direction to their senior representative at the site, providing resources to support site operations, and ensuring continued services for the remainder of the community. Also present is the Emergency Information Officer, or EIO. The EIO ensures the timely and accurate release of approved information to the media and the public.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? For those of you, this may in fact be the first knowledge that's given to you about the incident that occurred this morning. In addition to our main event board, my assistant will be taking minutes this morning. And I expect each one of you to keep your own logs and things, because we will be wanting to do some follow-ups after this event is all over. For our records, it's now 10:15. It's our first meeting of the Trillium Control Group. As many of you know, this morning we had a serious explosion and fire at the Trillium Chemical Factory. As we begin this operation cycle, I'll call on each one of you to give us what you have in terms of a brief up-to-date from each one of your sections and your organizations, so that we get a handle on where we're at during the initial stages of our emergency response. After we've gone around the table, I'll ask each one of you for any special advice or assistance or suggestions or additional resources that we need to bring to bear from other parts of our community, and indeed if we need to activate other communities' plans or the upper tier plans. I expect that sort of advice and guidance from you as we go around. I'll begin with Chief Madison. You've responded to the scene. Can you give us any idea as to what's occurring now at the site itself?
At the moment, we're fully deployed in the area, and I've called in for mutual aid. One of the things we need to do is maintain service protection for the rest of the community. I'm worried about an off-site release and the impact that might have. The chemicals that are involved are styrene and chlorine. And so we've evacuated in the immediate area according to the emergency response guidebook at this time.
Police.
We've established a perimeter around the site and are dealing with traffic and crowd control issues. My officers are concerned about a toxic release. I've canceled all leave and I've called in the off-duty shift, but if we expand the perimeter, I might need more resources.
Okay, thank you very much, Chief. EMS.
We've evac 3 Code 4 to Trillium Hospital at this time. We also anticipate more casualties from inhalations and exposure.
Code 4. What is Code 4?
Code 4 is a serious emergency requiring full lights and sirens and transport.
Okay, thank you. Let's all try to use plain English, keep the acronyms. to a minimum so that we all understand each other. Public Works.
My personnel are available, and in accordance with the emergency plan, we've completed some diking around the scene, but there have been some concerns raised by my crews about smoke and fumes coming from the scene.
We'll address that concern in a moment. Right now, I'd like to see if there's any special needs or requests or recommendations that we need to bring forward. And Chief, I understand that you have in fact completed your initial evacuation. And my only question to you at this point is, should we consider expanding the initial evacuation zone given the circumstances at this time?
It's definitely something that we need to consider, but we need to get a bit more information about the chemicals and the weather. And as soon as we've got that information, I'll be able to give you a better recommendation.
Thank you, Chief. Now, is there anything else you need from this group at this time to carry on?
Mutual aid has been activated, but at this point I think we need to contact the province to request some additional hazardous materials resources. And we also need to start considering appointing an incident commander for the site.
That's a good point. And since this is primarily a fire-related scenario that we're dealing with, I suggest, if there's no objections around the table, that we appoint the senior fire official at the scene as the incident commander. Okay, Police Chief, what's your situation at the scene?
Despite the call-ins, I can see us getting stretched pretty quickly with evacuation of the perimeters. Perhaps Public Works can assist us with movable barricades and assist in the staffing of the perimeter.
No problem. We've got about 50 portable barricades loaded already. As soon as you let us know where you want them, we can deliver them there. Also, I can help you with personnel. Again, just let us know where you want them.
EMS?
Nothing at this time.
All right. We need to contact United County Social Services and have them liaise with the Board of Education regarding the setup of evacuation centers in the schools. We also need to contact the Medical Officer of Health. And as far as a declaration of an emergency is concerned, I think we need to look at the relevant factors. And obviously, Your Worship, it'll be up to you to have the final say in all of this, but at this point, we need to know the benefits, if there are any, to declaring.
Tell me, just what are the pros and cons of declaring an emergency? You know, I don't want to alarm the community. What are the advantages?
Well, actually, there are several advantages, Your Worship. A declaration made by you under the Emergency Management Act will permit this group to take actions which otherwise might require the consent of full council. It will also streamline and expedite the purchasing process, and it will extend WSIB benefits to any registered volunteers that the town may need to employ during the response to the emergency.
Your Worship, we also have a checklist from the province which provides us with some guidelines on the declaration. I certainly believe that this situation meets that criteria. And if we err on the side of caution, we can always rescind the declaration once we get more information.
I agree. I'm declaring an emergency. Now, what do I need to do?
Here's the form. We're going to need to fill in the particulars, and then I'll fax it to the Provincial Operations Centre. We'll need to inform Council of the declaration. We'll also need to inform the MPs, the MPPs, and the county. We'll also need to advise the neighbouring communities and get that information out to the public as soon as possible.
Now that that's done, I want all of us to look at our schedules. I'm going to suggest that we meet again here formally in 2 hours. During that time frame, I want you to pass the information on that we've discussed here to your agencies. I want you to get the information from them to come prepared to give us a firm situational update during that meeting. I want us all to have the information that we need to make an informed decision as to where do we go from here during this incident. In the meantime, Emergency Information Officer, I want you to complete those news releases, pass them to the mayor and myself so that you can vet them and sign off on them, and get the information to the public through the media as soon as possible.
Certainly, Randy. I have all the key messages recorded, so we should have a draft ready for you in about 15 minutes.
All right, let's get to it, everybody.
Provincial Ops Center, Duty Officer Tom Contra.
Hello, Tom. My name is Daphne Farrell. I'm the CEMC for the town of Trillium, and I'm calling on behalf of Mayor Harrison. The mayor, as you know, declared a state of emergency following the chemical incident earlier today. The fax is being sent through as we speak.
Oh, okay. It's coming through now. We've also received word from the Spills Action Center that the Ministry of Environment has dispatched an air monitoring vehicle to your community. Okay, I've got your declaration in hand now, and it has all the information we need at this point. Do you have any immediate requirements we can assist you with?
The fire chief has requested some additional hazardous materials resources, but I'll have him get back to you later with the specifics.
All right, then we'll just stay in touch as the things develop. Thank you. Bye.
Hi, Tom.
There's the fax.
Okay, thanks. I'll be back shortly.
Good morning, Steve Elliott, Emergency Management Ontario.
Hi, Steve. It's Christine calling, the EMO duty manager. Steve, we've received a declaration of an emergency from the town of Trillium, and what we know so far is that there's been a chemical explosion and a fire. You're being deployed as the PERT officer. How soon can you get there?
Yeah, hi, Christine. Yeah, I'm ready to go. I had a heads up from the Trillium Emergency Management Coordinator a little while ago. I should be there in about 2 hours.
Okay, we'll need a full situation report when you arrive on the scene, and also can you find out if any additional provincial resources are going to be required? In the meantime, the POC is going to be at enhanced monitoring to track the situation.
I'll call the duty officer when I arrive.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Mayor Harrison and Chief Madison will read prepared statements. After they have read their statements, there will be time for a few brief questions before the mayor and the chief have to return to the Emergency Operations Center. Mayor Harrison.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. As you are aware, as of 10:30 hours this morning, I declared a state of emergency in the town of Trillium.
I'm Jude Kelly with the CRUD News Update. The town of Trillium has declared an emergency following an explosion at the Trillium chemical site this morning. Close to 1,000 residents have been evacuated as a result of this incident. Municipal officials said that as of 8 a.m. this morning, a leak of styrene and chlorine occurred, followed by an explosion. Emergency crews are still on the scene trying to contain the blaze, which has sent huge columns of black smoke in the air. The mayor and council, along with emergency service personnel, are continuing to meet at Town Hall in an effort to coordinate overall response to this emergency. We will continue to provide you with updates as the situation arises. I'm Jude Kelly with CRUD.
And that's an update on the current situation as we know it now.
Thanks for the update, Mayor. So tell me, what are our options now? Where do we go from here? What can we as councillors do?